Part two, shalom, shalom. Let's
Taken
hear
to
a
it,
little
then
bit.
I would just do like I've been doing. I go to the Muslims.
Okay, never forget that. I'm not going to
This is
Muslims
what's
for shit.
left-hand side. You go through all the rituals of Freemasonry. You know, they all supposedly take place in here. You know, but this shifts around, and they always do these little rituals and shit. You know.
All right, you can watch that video later. Let me continue on back. What it said here again. Ezekiel 43. Tell the house of Israel about the temple, and let them be ashamed of their iniquities, and calculate the temple's designs. If they become ashamed of all that they have done, then make known to them the form of the temple and its designs, its exits and entrances, and all its building forms, all its laws, all its designs, and all its teachings, and write all this down before their eyes, so that they may safeguard its entire form and all its rules, and fulfill them. So the temple. Let me get the other illustration here. Remember, this is the temple, you guys. This is the Holy of Holies, which is your head or your mind, the holy place, and the outer court, with the altar. I'm sorry, this is like the outer court. I'm sorry. I don't even know why they have this here. This is like, there's only 3 levels here. This should be like, well, the inner courtyard, the sanctuary, and the Holy of Holies. So you're only really focusing on these 3. If you're out here, then I don't know what to tell you. Let me see if we got a better illustration too. Yeah, well, you know, if you can get this dope. Which this is the stones to knock. Israelites be telling you to get the King James version. The King James version is fucking mud. Okay, I would never read that bullshit. It doesn't even have any Hebrew in it. You're just getting a really shitty, weird English translation. Okay, it's shitty. So if I were you, I would if you're a real Israelite and you're dealing with the Hebrew, you were to get like the stones to knock, or other Torahs. What I got the Stone Edition in Kamash here. The Pentateuch and Haftorah. I don't even know what who makes this one, but this one's a dope one too, man. It's got the really small Hebrew print though. But yeah, I don't deal with King James. King James is some kindergarten shit. It just is. Anyways, the Most High was like, let them know about the temple's design. So I started writing out the temple's designs. I'm not saying I'm Ezekiel, because I'm not, but I'm able to like understand what it is. Anyways, once you begin to get the temple pattern in your mind, you will like elevate higher. The word Allah, you will elevate higher. You'll begin to able to understand why split hooves, fins and scales, all these. You can find these in my old videos. Why these are important, and the dietary laws and whatnot. You'll begin to understand the tree of knowledge, which all this is the tree of knowledge. You know, it's like the self. It's the human being inside and out. And the Torah is like an instruction book, a beautiful instruction book that there's no way could have been like written or given by human beings. No way. No human being could possibly do all of this. This is magnificently written, divine origin. There's just no way a man could conceive this. And other temples and other religions or cultures, temples and shit don't have anything. There's nothing like this. Nothing. Okay, nothing at all. I'll give you a small example too. I showed you in Ezekiel how the cherubim here, with their, it's really the eyeballs. Okay, you can't see it, but this is also the crown of the anointed angel Michael or Melchizedek. But this is the eyeballs. This is the nose with the 2 holes in the nose. So this box would be like the brain or the mind. The angels are in here where the tablets are, so on. The menorah, I'm going to explain, is also the 7 major planets of our solar universe. But what this really is, and these 7 angels are the 7 angels too. I'm sorry. If you were to draw this, what it really is also like the angel Michael here. He's like the one big angel, and these are the 6 accompanying angels. But they make like one big angel, and there's like a head up here, and these are like his wings. So, you know, but they're called the lights, with or from Nara, which is lights. The incense altar which would be in the holy of holies, where they put the incense, the bud, all this, and the smoke rises up to the holy place. This is the human heart. This is also what you call the shield of David. Okay, this is what this is: the 3D, the altar, altar, the cube. This also signifies the kingdom of David. David was a man after Yah's heart. Okay, so this is also the human heart. This is also the sun. This is its place, the sun. The copper altar, which is the altar of sacrifice, would be like earth, and it also signifies God's footstool. Okay, you are sacrificing your worldly self, your outside self. You're placing clean animals atop, burning them, and the smoke rises to the Most High. Plus, you are basically killing off your old self. This is the whole meaning of set yourself as a living sacrifice, if you can understand what this means. The shalakan, which is your table of showbread, and all this. This is like your physical and spiritual well-being, your information, your wisdom, all these things. It's like the table for living, or how should I say this? For like your physical well-being on earth, but it's based around the bread, which is the wisdom. It's the wisdom of the Torah enables you to fight this battle of the lower self. I should explain it in a way of like, this is going to sound like stupid, but if you can grasp the inner meaning, spiritual meaning of what I mean is it's easier to break things than to build them. It's easier to be a nigga than it is to be an Israelite. It's so the Torah is an instruction manual which gives you wisdom and knowledge enough to be able to fight off your lower self. So the word lakam means bread. It also means to battle or to have war, to prevail. So it's your struggle against the lower self. So again, Yah made the temple. He said to understand, the temple and its designs. You have all the high priest, 8 garments, or which 8. I'm sorry, 8 also signifies abundance and oil, shaman. It's 7 is like earthly completion, and spirit, and 8 is like abundance, like surplus, which is like anointing, which you get the idea of like Moses and Yahushua and John the Baptist and David and Solomon and all them. Take the word Mashayak, is like drawn out from his brothers, or like there's a crowd of brothers and you picked one out. So he's picked out from his brothers. He's set apart from his brothers is the meaning of the word Mashiach. Not Christ. That's some other shit. Some Osiris bullshit. You got the Zats or Zayats, which it's actual pronunciation for it, and it's like a golden headband. But if you understand, it's really the Ark of the Covenant. It's your forehead. When the Most High said, "Go through the city and put the mark," and I'm gonna tell you what the mark is. When you look in the Hebrew, the word is El Kawath. Look at the word kawath, and it signifies like a seal or a mark, a seal. But if you check it out, what that word really means, it's really talking about the 10 Commandments. Those who follow the 10 Commandments. That's the seal and the mark in their foreheads, in their mind. You're going to follow the Most High. This is the meaning of your zayats, which is also means flower, or to blossom, to bloom. It's your third eye. It's your eye that enlightens the whole body. Okay, so I'm just trying to like give you the let me see how much time I got. Okay, 9 minutes. It's me trying. I'm just trying to give you the inner meaning of things, in a small way, so that you can go and research this stuff yourself. I'll give you another small example. Your animals. Your signs of kosher animals and fish. Split. The reason why the hooves have to be split is because it's talking about set apart. Okay, that's the meaning of it, and you're allowed to like eat animals with a split hoof, but not the ones without, because it all goes back to. I'm sorry. Let me get a better illustration. I'm sorry. It's basically talking about the temple again, separating yourself from Egypt, which is signified as the earth, the altar sacrifice, the world, the worldly self, the lower self, the carnal self, and you're splitting yourself, and you're entering the house of God, or the holy place and the holy of holies. So this is basically what your split thing is, setting yourself apart. The whole meaning of the temple basically is to set yourself apart and to elevate. I tell you that all the time. That's like the whole meaning of the Torah. All those who want to be initiated into the Torah and temple meaning, or meaning, is basically to set yourself apart, which means holy, kodash, and to elevate Allah. So, the kosher animals, or the animals that are good, are, remember, if you take this word kashar, it's like the prince. So Israel's name Yasha'el, he shar is prince, goes right back to Angel Michael, and man is made as a lower angel. You can find this in Psalms. So we're talking about set apart, split hoofs, and then elevate. The animals that you can eat have to chew the cud, which means they eat their food and they bring the food up. So it's just like the incense. You're set apart. You set your sacrifices on the altar. You split it, all this or whatever, and then the fire comes on, it burns it, and then the smoke goes up, and you proceed into the holy place, the holy of holies. So you set apart, split, elevate. Split, he eats the food, and the food comes back up. So, but the word is Allah. So it also goes back into just bear with me, you guys. I'm trying. Your incense, your herbs, your grass, your food, your wheat, all these things, even your words like Quana, or mean like to erect straight up, to elevate. You burn your incense and the smoke rises. Yah is all about like elevation. Allah, your elevation, you're raising the heights. The incense, the rayak nawayak, the smoke rises. Meal offerings, all these burn, they all are rising. Sorry, I'm trying that more on here. I'm sorry, but yeah, basically this is basically what it means. We get down to your fish. You're only allowed to eat fish that have the two fins, which goes back to your split hooves, separating yourself, holiness. Okay, and it has scales. Okay, but you're not allowed, and these don't hover on the ground, so they don't. The bottom feeders are always subject to the lower self. They dwell on the ground. Yah wants man to elevate, or he wants Israel to elevate. So you can only eat the fish with two fins, which also goes back to your split hooves, and that like move about. Okay, that don't bottom feed. That's what it is. And your insects have to be double jointed, which double jointed is, it goes back to your two fins, it goes back to your split hooves, and they jump, they elevate. But those who creep on the ground, which corresponds to the sacrifice altar, or Egypt, or the lower self, you're not allowed to eat those. The pig does have split hooves, but he does not chew the cud. He does not bring up his food, so he's unclean to you. Your pig is symbolic. You can even give me see how much time I have. I'm sorry. I don't mean to ramble, you guys. I'm just trying to give you guys a good overview and understanding of the temple, because this is what Yah had commanded. He said draw it out. So you can watch my old videos, and I get into it. but all this, even all your fish and your split hoof animals all also corresponds to the Passover. Israel got in their house, so they set themselves apart. They got in their house. The angel of death came. Then they did the Passover. They ate the meat. They ate the lamb, which means they absorbed it. It's the positive qualities of the lamb, which is purity and spirituality and things. Your whole ritual is all set apart and elevate. Okay, this is the meaning of it. But if you're worshiping Christ, you're not dealing with none of that. Okay, and you notice that Paul never mentioned any of this. None. But you see James and the Jerusalem church were doing this. They were still doing temple functions. Matter of fact, the master James performed Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, let me tell you what that is again. He walked into the Holy of Holies, Yom Kippur. This is also the Ark of the Covenant. The top of this Ark of the Covenant is called the Kafroth, I'm sorry. And it stands for like the golden mercy seat. Now, if it's a seat, who's sitting upon it? The angel Michael. This is called the ark, called the Arawan. If you spell it backwards, it's Nara, which is your light. So it's like this is in your forehead. This is the go through and put a mark on all those who sigh and cry. It's all about light and illumination and elevation. The most elevated of them will be the high priest of all Israel. He's the highest office of them all, and the highest office for the worldly aspect is the king Messiah. So you can see where Paul and the heathen tried to make the Davidic line in the king Messiah higher than the high priest, but the Most High said that Levi and the high priest are the chosen ones, are the sons, are for the firstborn for him, and they are Yah's portion. If you'll notice too, look at the words of these. Zayats is like blossom, bloom, which corresponds to your forehead or to the third eye, which is the Ark of the Covenant, to the mind, the illuminated mind. The Ma'al, which is your robe. But look at the word. Ma'al also means to elevate, to be high. The Kasanath, I think I have that written down here. I don't remember all my terms. I haven't studied my the Kathanath. Give me 1 second to show the Kathanath. Linen tunic, made to cover nakedness by God. Okay, Genesis 3:21. So this robe here, they call it the Kasanath, but it's Kathanath. It corresponds to Genesis 3 verse 21. It's made to cover the nakedness made to cover Adam and Eve's nakedness, which is spiritual blindness. Nakedness is iniquity and sin or a fall when they fell down to Egypt, lower self. This is made to cover that. The hem of the Ma'al with the pomegranate, they call them the Ramanan, which is really stands for I'm messing up. I'm sorry. I should have been studying them more, but you get the Hebrew. You can see it basically stands for uprightness and righteousness, pretty much. Okay, the high priest wore these, and these like jingled and made noises. The ephod, the shoham stones, which are the same stones that they said that Lucifer was in when he walked, and these are over our road, we're paved with them, so forth and so on. 12 for each of the 12 tribes. Yeah, so if anyone says that the Bible is a fairy tale and such and such and such, these guys don't have knowledge of self. 5% Nation, Islam, all these things are not going to tell you about any of these things. These guys don't have knowledge of self. I try to tell these guys, this isn't going away. Like the Most High said that this Israelite movement will swallow up all other ideologies and philosophies. This is not going away. It's not. It's just going to increase, and it's a good thing. I'm in contact with other brothers too who are very, very interested in the Torah wisdom and all that, and it's a beautiful thing, man. I've been praying for like more brothers to get more involved in the Torah and prophets than to even it out with these camps, because they're basically Christian, man, and they're basically an outside type Israelite. They haven't really set foot inside the temple yet. they're still kind of like, I mean, they're in the holy place. You know, they're there. I'll give you that. But it's like the holy place is like to fill the study. Remember this. Remember how this is made. So if you can see this, the alam, which is your sacrifice altar, the holy place, which is called the yakal hayakal, which is the prevailing, which is your bread, your battle, your you know, it's just this is where you like. This is also, remember you had 10 steps too, from Egypt to the Holy Land. Your 10 steps. You got 10 commandments. Surely Yah made the temple structure and man like very, very great. You know, like, you know, you get to learn all the meaning of numbers, 1 through 9, your 360 degrees circle, which is Israel, the son of man. 1 is only designated for the Most High Yah. But you see that the promised land is here. It's your pineal gland. And Islam tried to jack it, or at least Nation of Islam sort of had some understanding of it. And if you read the Nation of Islam writings, they were like, oh, what's the best part? The best part is Jerusalem. Okay? Right here, the Holy Land, which is the pineal gland. You know, it's the state of mind, you know? The debar, the dwelling of God's presence. The initiated, the anointed. So you know, if I ask you, you know, Israelite, you know, what's the best part? What's the promised land? You should say like the pineal gland. You know, it's the understanding of the Israelite man. You know, the man who's made in the form of an angel. You know, then you know the left hand side is the form of a devil. But yeah, so that's what it is, you guys. I'm about to sit down and drink some wine, but I wanted to expound a little bit for the brothers and sisters, because I know. Give me 1 second. I might just open up a part 3 real quick. All right, shalom. I want to talk for a little bit more. Hold on, shalom.